You're watching live at Spectrum. Tonight, Three Wise Monkeys and Tracy, Killeen. Please welcome your host, Greg Lover.
Welcome to Live at Spectrum, made here in Gippsland by Gippslanders, supporting Gippsland musician. The show tonight is absolutely chock-a-block. I know we say that most episodes, but tonight we really do mean it. We could be here for an hour and a half tonight. You looking forward to that, audience? Yeah. After an hour and a half of not being able to go to the toilet, we'll see how you feel then. On the microphone tonight, Mr. Golden Tonsils himself, Mr. Trent McCurdy.
Thank you very much. Hello to you, Brett, and to all our viewers and to our listeners listening on TRFM across Gippsland. Yeah, so we're going to be out live tonight via the feed. It's a special bit of a birthday. We don't usually get in the habit of doing birthday shout-outs on the program, or we'd be here all night. But I think it's pretty obvious that this show we've been doing for the last year and a half it's been now. And we took a lot of our influence from the Hey Hey Saturday. It's a show that we often talk about a lot. And Daryl Summers, it's actually his birthday today, and seeing as it's on show day, we thought, and he's no doubt watching the program, Trent, we thought we'd just send him a cheerio and a happy birthday. So happy birthday from the audience and from everyone here at Spectrum. Good on you, Daryl. And we do have a very big show on tonight, Trent. What's coming up? We have got a catch-up with Harry Hookey. We have a story on the Darnum Musical Village. And we're going to talk to Mark Andrew, who is a very famous Elvis impersonator who was in Traralgon the other week.
Yes, because it's actually been, if you can believe it, 40 years since Elvis passed away this month. So he does a fantastic job, Mark Andrew, and he's got roots here in Gippsland as well. So we'll be talking to him later on. And also Beat Glover we're going to have on later. I believe Big John Werner is up for the challenge tonight. Ooh. And I've been reading up on my music trivia. So, John, you're going down, buddy. Going down. Yeah. Now, our first performer tonight is country through and through. She grew up secretly singing to cattle until she was sprung and put to work out in the real world, achieving many successes during her career. Please welcome to Live at Spectrum, Tracy, Killeen.
Ooh, yeah. Sometimes it's a long drive on a Sunday, just you and the trees and the breeze of the highway. That peace of mind that finds you like a gentle kiss. It turns into a red sky evening, like God is up there painting the ceiling. Gives you a reason to believe it more than this. There's all kinds of beautiful in this life, in this world, in your eyes, and I will soak up every smile that you've got to give, and I'll give it back to you every day. Wanna show you, baby, in every way, that all I'm living for is to feel your heart and soul with all kinds of beautiful. Like hand in the sand, just a walking, that moment in time when nobody's talking. Your touch tells me everything I need to know. It's the way the light looks on your face in the morning, when you kiss me awake from my dreams without warning. The thought of holding you as we grow old. There's all kinds of beautiful in this life, in this world, in your eyes, and I will soak up every smile that you've got to give, and I'll give it back to you every day. Wanna show you, baby, in every way, living for is to feel your that you've got to give, and I'll give it back to you every day. Wanna show you, baby, in every way, that all I'm living for is to feel your heart and soul with all kinds of beautiful, all kinds of beautiful, all kinds of beautiful. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much, and please put your hands together for Anthony Rickard. Anthony was actually my first ever guitar teacher when I was 15 and he was 15. Got a bit flirty, didn't it? And then I quit, and not because of Anthony, and I started playing guitar again at 26. This song's all about being crazy in love.
All the things we're doing makes me think that all's not right. Like that heart-stopping phone bill with only your number down the line. Like that time you told the whole bar I would one day be your wife. And we woke next morning hoping we'd never change our mind. We are crazy, we are just in love. Life is hazy from way up above on cloud nine. Feeling fine, I am yours, you are mine. And I go crazy when you're not in town. When you're away, I'm all upside down. But it's fine to lose your mind when you're crazy in love. We don't get much sleep 'cause we don't wanna close our eyes. And I swear I wouldn't stare if James Dean or his twin walked by. Remember singing to the bar, I've got you, babe, tonight. And we loved so hard that we both broke down and cried. We are crazy, we are just in love. Life is hazy from way up above on cloud nine. Feeling fine, I am yours, you are mine. And I go crazy when you're not in town. When you're away, I'm all upside down. But it's fine to lose your mind when you're crazy in love. Just in love. Life is hazy from way up above on cloud nine. Feeling fine, I am yours, you are mine. And I go crazy when you're not in town. it's fine to lose your mind when you're crazy in love.
Thanks so much. Don't throw your undies. Well, not yet anyway. Well, I wrote this next song after I was living in Sydney and I was going on some really bad dates. And this one particular date, obviously he'd just come from a good old waxing session and he had a bit of stubble rash on his arms and he had his shirt open and I went, hello, what have I got here? So I went home and wrote a song called Metrosexual Craze saying, step away from the hot wax, fellas.
It's hard for a girl in this modern age to find a man who only shaves his face. And it's so damn hard trying to get a date with a guy who don't exfoliate. Searching high and low for a man with arms of steel. From all his hard work, not from a treadmill. Looking for a man who really doesn't care that he's got more than a little chest hair. It's an international metrosexual craze. Let's hope for us girls it's just a passing phase. It's an international metrosexual craze. And it's hard for a woman to find a real man these days. It's hard enough with internet and text. Now they're turning into the Pharisees. Just when I think you might have found the one, he's heading to the beauty salon. It's an international metrosexual craze. Let's hope for us girls it's just a passing phase. It's an international metrosexual craze. And it's hard for a woman to find a real man these days. I don't want no manicured, moisturized powder puff. I need stronger stuff. It's an international metrosexual craze. Let's hope for us girls it's just a passing phase. There's a whole new breed of man in society. They're swapping their beer for a herbal remedy. It's an international metrosexual craze. And it's hard for a woman to find a real man these days. Yeah, it's hard for a woman to find a real man these days.
And Anthony Rickard. I might stand on this side of you, Trace. I think. Sorry, I'll let you get a water. We love it. Now, you're so entertaining and you're so into what you do. Now, I want to introduce this little friend of yours before we keep going. Now, I know people are listening on TRFM right now, so they won't see this. Can you describe what I've got in my hand?
A little blue doll called Bonnie.
I'll let you... You're probably feeling a bit uneasy that I've got my hands on Bonnie right now.
Back away! No.
Tell us a bit about Bonnie.
Well, I got Bonnie when I got my first ever paid show at the Tamworth Country Music Festival. I graduated from busking on the street and, yeah, my mum bought it for me.
Yeah.
And I was 24.
And what role does Bonnie play in your performing life now?
Bonnie just goes everywhere with me and she's like my good luck doll. So I give her a good old squeeze.
Yeah.
And the luck just comes out.
Yeah. It's funny because I often see you before performances, you come across as like you're so nervous you want to run away and maybe just hide from everybody, but then you come on the stage and all of a sudden it's
Bonnie.
It's Bonnie time.
Bonnie's in the house.
So Tamworth has been something that's played a major role in your life. Can you tell us a bit about, I've actually never been to Tamworth before, or the music festival. Can you tell us a bit about the town and what it's like being at that festival?
It's just a buzz, like it's massive. It's this huge festival and I mean country music is a huge spectrum.
Nice.
Like that. And yeah, so like country music, there's bluegrass, you know, country rock, folk, it's just massive. So there's all different types of country music there. Whatever you love, you can go listen to. It's 24/7, it's just awesome.
And what drew you to Tamworth the first time you went there? How'd you find out about it?
My mum and dad took me. I was about 16 and I can't remember who I saw, but I was like, that's what I want to do, I want to go there.
Was this before or after you were singing to the cows out in the paddock?
This was after, yes.
Because you grew up in Bushy Park on a cattle farm there.
They mooed, they never booed.
No, yeah, they did. And like we joke about it, but it's kind of a true story, isn't it? You were singing to the cattle.
Yeah, I was singing Whitney Houston.
Yes.
To my dad's steers, and my auntie heard me and said, you know, she can sing. And I started having singing lessons in Sale.
Yep.
And then started going in talent quests. There was heaps of talent quests back then. I don't know if there is now, but there was lots around Sale, and there was Latrobe Valley of Stedford. There was lots to go in, and so I was doing that, and I joined the Bairnsdale Country Music Club. Yep. And Mum and Dad would take me there, and I'd sing there. And then I saw Denise Morrison, who's an amazing singer, and I went, that's what I want to do. Yeah.
So without those sort of local opportunities, we might not have been able to climb that sort of ladder to get those skills up to be able to head off.
Yeah.
So when you went to Tamworth, is that where the opportunities arose for you to start getting a bit of a name for yourself and start the recording process?
I went to the Academy of Country Music, and that's held before the festival starts. And it's really intensive. Like you learn so much. They teach you about the musicality side of it. Marketing, everything, and you're introduced to lots of people already in the industry. So it was just an amazing thing that got me started. That's when I went, you know, I want to give this a real crack.
And when was you obviously put all the hard yards in, and you went to the right places and started doing all the right things. When was the first time you realised, I'm having a little bit of success with this? Was it watching a film clip on the Country Music Channel, or was it hearing it on the radio?
That's always the buzz, like hearing your songs on the radio or a music video. That's
Can you recall
cool.
the first time that happened to you?
I think I was in a duo at the time called Sweeney Killeen, and yeah, our song came on and we were driving somewhere and we both started going, oh my God, that's us! Yeah, and then I think we did the Gympie Muster and we played on main stage that year, and that's when we went, holy smokes, you know, we were just before James Blundell. And,
oh, wow.
And I went, yeah, I needed Bonnie there.
Now, I love the story that you've got Anthony on the guitar with you tonight. You're both 15-year-olds, again, having guitar lessons.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the reason you quit, was
he?
he?
No, gosh, no. he's amazing. I didn't really want to learn guitar because I was 15 and thought, I don't need to learn an instrument.
Yes, no.
Well, and...
the audience is turning on you.
I don't know, I just wanted to dance and sing to the cows. And, yeah, I had lessons and Anthony was my teacher. He was an amazing teacher.
It's really cool that you've come back together tonight to be able to perform together.
So he was 15, I was 15.
Yeah.
And, you know, he had long hair. Yeah, he had looked like a punk rocker, and I went, ooh, he's a bit nice.
Is he the metrosexual you were just singing about?
No. No. He doesn't wax his chest. No.
How did things go with the metrosexual thing? Did you find a real man in the end?
I did. I'm engaged to him.
Oh, congratulations. And good evening to Mitch, because I know that I love the song Metrosexual Craze, and Mitch has come into your life, and it's like, I had to ask you, is Mitch coming tonight? He said, no, he's got to work tomorrow. He's got to get some firewood because he's going on a hunting trip. And I said, well, you've made it, haven't you? Well done.
I did. I found my countryman.
Now, Trent McCurdy's been busy online tonight.
Yeah, Tracy, I just want to say I saw you at the Patsy Killeen show earlier in the year, and you were amazing. Has Patsy been a bit of an inspiration for you?
Yeah, well, that's how I got into country music. My mum and dad would play Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, and Emmylou Harris, and I just loved it. And Patsy was probably the biggest influence on me. Yeah. Well,
you nailed that show. That was absolutely amazing. Just wanted to read some of the messages that have come through, and if you do want to leave one for us tonight, you can do that on our Facebook feed, or you can SMS 04111 48977. Rhonda Owen has said, go Tracy, keep it country. Robin has sent a message through saying, just beautiful Tracy. Jennifer Whitecross is watching from Scotland and has shared via Facebook, which is fantastic. Thanks so much for that, Jennifer. And we've had some photos come through, which we'll take a look at on the screen. First one is actually from one of our cameramen, Pete Lawson.
What's
Sent that through. That was some behind-the-scenes magic. I think that's when you were in the toilet, Glover.
Look at that.
And we've also had one from Paul Beaumont. He's watching tonight, said, sorry for missing the last 2 episodes. I'm pretty sure I've seen Paul on a TV commercial.
I'm pretty sure he's been on the last 2 episodes as well.
Well, I think he's on a TV commercial as a bike rider, one that's airing on Gippsland at the moment. I'll confirm that later.
I thought you were about to show it. And it was going to
well, it'd be great. Maybe we can do that later. So keep your messages coming through 04111 48977, or just leave us a message on Facebook.
No worries. Now, Trace, we're going to let you do your final song for us tonight. I'll let you
take
introduce. I will take very good care of Bonnie, I promise. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. Welcome back, Tracy Killeen.
Thank you so much, and please thank Anthony again. He's amazing. So I did finally learn the guitar. This song's all about being brave, whether you've gone through an unhealthy relationship or someone you love suffering an illness, or you've just had to start over. This song's for you. It's called Brave. Love that man for so long, fear and doubt kept you holding on. Now you found a reason to let go. All your own's in the back of your car. You don't need much if you know who you are. Turn the key and cry on down the road. And there you are in the furniture store, reminding yourself what you left him for. You're so brave, you're so strong, and you were all alone. You can shine, you can fly anywhere if you try. You'll be safe, 'cause you're so brave. Have you ever wanted something so bad? It's a script and scene of every dream you've had. There you are, the star of the show. Opportunity knocks and you're put to the test. Moment of truth, scared to death. Fate's the only hand for you to hold. One deep breath as they turn the spotlight on. No regrets from this moment on. You're so brave, you're so strong,
and you were all alone. You can shine, you can fly anywhere if you try. You'll be safe, 'cause you're so brave. Get what you give, Lord knows I gave my all. I'm still a winner, even if I fall. I'm so brave, I'm so strong, and I was all alone. I can shine, I can fly anywhere if I try. I'll be safe, 'cause I'm so brave. I'm so brave, so strong, and I was all alone. Thank you.
And Anthony too. I've got to get Anthony. Beautiful. Tracy, Killeen, Anthony Rickard. Where are we? The album is out now. Driver's Seat. Make sure you get it out there in the ether. Where can we find a copy of that album?
The back in the boot.
In the boot. Go straight to Tracy's boot or find her online. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you as well. What are we doing now? I believe...
I'll give you the phone number,
Yeah,
04 111 489 and you can leave a message for us on our Facebook Live feed. And a reminder that if you want to see some of the great behind-the-scenes stuff that's happening here in the studio tonight, search for Live at Spectrum on Instagram and Snapchat. Now, I believe we're looking at the Harry Hookey.
Yeah, sorry, when I kiss Anthony, I get very flustered. Thank you, Anthony. Now, great friend of the show, Harry Hookey. He did a hometown show in Cowar last weekend. Live at Spectrum decided to go and catch up with Harry and see what's been going on since his amazing performance here on Live at Spectrum last year, and to see if his album is on the way.
Gippslander Harry Hookey's debut album, Misdiagnosed, was nominated for a 2014 ARIA Award for Best Blues and Roots Album. It's been over a year since Harry appeared on Live at Spectrum, so we thought it was time to catch up with one of our audience's favourite musicians to find out what he's been up to.
Cowar Cricket Club is what it's called, but we all call it the Cowar Pub, you know. You get to see old friends, and the great thing about this place is too, like, people are real supportive. People come out and they'll come and catch the show, even if they're hearing songs they've heard 1,000 times before. They'll come out, have a good time, have a couple of drinks, and it's always, this place is very dear to my heart, you know, like, had some special nights here, and every gig, how you go, Mills is delivering the beers. Can I steal that one from Mills?
And you get beers?
And we get beers, how about that? And Val and Helena, and we just, yeah, we mic the beer. No, it's a real dear place to my heart. I played my first ever gig here about 10 years ago to 3 people and a dog. And from there on, it's been like a crazy wild adventure. But every once in a while, I'd love to come home and play. And I get to jam with my family. We actually haven't played together for best part of 6 months, I think. So it might be a bit rough around the edges tonight, but that's part of the fun too. So I'm doing this this house concert tour for the rest of the year, and actually, funnily enough, as it were, like I'm playing 2 house concerts in Cowar. Cowar's, yeah, both of them. I'm playing both of them. The house shows, you get a real intimate connection with your audience. You get people who are there to listen to your music, and you kind of go away from it having made a whole lot of new friends and stuff. And that's what these kind of gigs, or this gig in particular, feels to me. It's old friends all coming out to hang out together, and it's something really special. So the house concerts are kind of like similar in the sense that you go to someone's place, you meet all their friends, you hear their stories, and the gigs are like unwaveringly good because people are there to listen to music and are ready to get into it. Well, I'm finalising my record, my second record, which is it's been a long time coming, but the wheels of the music industry work in mysterious ways. They take a bit of time sometimes, but I'm really excited about it. Really proud of how it's sounding and everything. So all recorded and everything. We recorded at the end of last year. Put a bunch of overdubs on it lately, but in the last couple of months. But now it's all 100% done, being mixed at the moment, and fingers crossed, we'll have an EP out by the end of the year as a sort of a taste of what things to come. And then early next year, drop the record and I'll be back on the road. Man, I live on the road, I love it. I don't kind of wait for the album to come out to play the new songs live, but it's something different. You can hear a song live and be connected to it, but to actually take it home with you and really listen to it and kind of let it grow on you, that's an important facet too. So I'm really looking forward to having it in people's ears. And to be honest, man, like I'm already thinking about the next one. I've started writing for that already, and it's one of those insatiable things. I always want to, I'm always striving to make the perfect record, and you try and improve on the mistakes of the last. Not that I'm really proud of how it sounds, but.
Don't ask me why I look so low, 'cause my feet were built for moving wherever I go.
I mean, that's why I respect guys like Bob Dylan so much. He was so prolific because when he had the urge, he would just go on and make the record, no matter what. Even if it was rough around the edges, even if he sung out of tune. There's one album in particular, my favourite album, I reckon, is Another Side of Bob Dylan, which he recorded after a gig. And he sings a little bit out of tune, his guitar's a bit out of tune, but the spirit is 100% there. And I'm sure he would look back on it and go, I could have done that better. But the songs are great, and he's got so much soul in the way he delivers them. And to me, that counts for more than all the technical prowess. The auto-tune, exactly. And that's what I kind of miss in modern music, is the little imperfections, the character,
Thanks, Harry.
Well, thanks so much, Brett. Pleasure. Thanks, Spectrum, guys.
Wherever I go, so don't ask me.
Harry Hookey there. It's always great to catch up with Harry and see what he's up to. Trent, we're going to get straight into this next subject.
Yes, let's do it. This is the quiz that everybody loves. It's called Big Glover. Let's do it.
Okay, please keep that round of applause going for our special guest, Mr. John Werner, who's about to give me a beating, apparently. We're going to do the Maffra Sale rivalry tonight, I believe.
Absolutely. Well, I'm from Maffra originally, and you're a Sale boy.
Yes, so Battle of the Birds, we're on.
And that's one of the great rivalries in Gippsland, Maffra Sales.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You're already snorting. You're a bit trigger-friendly there. Trigger-happy. All right, we'll hand over to the... Sorry, this is your segment.
No, that's right. No, it's okay. So, good to see you here, John, because, of course, you're part of the Strzelecki String Busters, and I saw you perform on Friday night at the Yanar Hotel with the Steaming Monsters, and I just want to say how great you guys were, and you had some amazing people with you, Steve Schultz, Shane Wacker on the drums, Danny Eddy, who's in the audience tonight, Ray Negro, Anton Fullerton, who's got an amazing singing voice, I've got to say. Even Paul Buchanan from the Amnesia Blues Band got up and had a dance and then a sing.
That's right. Paul was one of, I think, half a dozen people that jumped up. We had every drummer in the Latrobe Valley got up to play. And several other vocalists as well, too.
And so you guys have been catching up previously, have you? So you've done the questions together. Is this what you're trying to say?
We've been working on these.
I'll go with that excuse tonight.
Rennie Jones was there as well, so I'm just going to give you a microphone. I know we're right now. That's okay.
We're good?
Yeah, you're on. Well done. No.
Testing.
Put the pig near it. There you go. Does that work?
Oh, thank you.
We'll use that one.
That's just in case you need to sing. All right, here's the rules for Beat Lover. Let's get into it. There's 10 music questions. 1 point for each correct answer. 5 seconds to answer each question. For every correct answer, you'll hear this sound. For every incorrect answer, you'll hear this sound. And when the time is up, you'll hear this sound.
Oh, gee, no, that's a bit... Come on. It's a family show.
Let's test the buzzers. John, you can go first. Test your buzzer. There we go.
Oh, brilliant.
Fantastic. And audience, feel free, if they do happen to get a question right, which is unlikely, you can give me a clap if you want. All right, question 1. Here we go. Australian musician Mike Lizotte is better known as...
Ooh, it's going to be a tight one tonight.
Your call.
I think it was Brett. I hate to say it, but I think it was Brett.
Johnny Diesel.
Correct.
Yeah. You got to be quicker.
All right, question 2.
You're in the big leagues now.
Nick Sester, Bernard Fanning, Phil Jamison, Cram, Chris Cheney, Dave...
Powderfinger?
Incorrect.
Oh.
I will finish the question. And Pat Berg formed which supergroup? And bonus points for the artist this band is named after. Brett.
Oh, that was The Wrights.
Correct.
And it's named after Stevie Wright.
Yes.
Yes.
The easy beats, very good.
All
right. This is the best start you've ever had,
I know,
Brett.
this is amazing.
Cherish it. Question 3.
What the prize is.
What is the highest all-time selling album by an Australian artist in Australia? Brett.
Brett Glover, Done.
It's definitely wrong. John.
Oh, look, I'll have a guess and say John Farnham.
Correct.
The Voice.
And what was the album?
Oh, Whispering Jack.
Correct. And how many times platinum?
Excuse me?
How many times did it go platinum?
Oh, let's go 8.
No, it was 24.
24? That's unbelievable.
That's very
He's
good.
gonna
Question
go far, that bloke, I reckon.
number 4. Which Aussie artists love to have a beer with Duncan? Brett.
Mr. Me-Tongue, Slim Dusty.
Correct.
Yes. This is good.
Question 5. Which band recently reformed at Splendour in the Grass and performed some of their original tracks, including On My Mind and These Days?
Powderfinger.
Correct.
I told you the pressure's on.
I knew the title of the song, but not the band.
Sorry, John. You've still got a few to go here. Question 6. In 2012, 2 Brisbane men were locked up overnight by police for dropping their pants in a customary dance move to which song?
Oh. YMCA.
Incorrect. John, want to take a stab?
Oh, no idea.
It's Eagle Rock.
Jingle Bells.
No, it was Eagle Rock. All right, question 7.
Course.
Which Grinspoon album is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year?
Guide to Better Living.
Correct.
I'm having a ball. You having fun?
Grinspoon's a little bit after me.
I feel really bad. John, we should have had some questions for you. We should have run through them before the show.
Well, we should have. I thought we did.
Question 8. Wally DeBacker of The Basics also has quite a notable solo career, including...
Well, I'm going to jump in and guess what the question was that's got here.
Correct.
Yes.
He's good.
Yes.
He's very good.
Trent, could I just ask, how many questions are there left?
2.
2? So it's mathematically impossible for me to win.
You never know. Glover might
wave
get
the
struck by
white
lightning. Question 9. What do Lenny Kravitz and the late INXS frontman Michael Hutchins have in common?
Oh. What
Go
have
on.
in common?
Oh, no, they're both male.
Correct.
Yeah.
But that, unfortunately, that is not the answer we were looking for. Both have been in a relationship with Kylie Minogue.
Oh, right, that's
Not at the same time that we know of.
Kylie.
The final question, which artist has won the most ARIA awards? Artist or band? I'll give you that.
Oh, really? Joe Dolce.
No. John, you want to take a stab?
Oh, look.
You're sitting on one.
I'm sitting on one. The stools.
No. The answer is Silverchair. Well, yeah, technically you're on a stool, but yeah, champ. So that's it. So the winner tonight is Brett Glover.
Wow,
Although, John, there we go.
In the audience.
Man.
Hang on, how that possibly happened?
Congratulations. That was Beat Glover, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we're going to roll the outro or not?
That's not happening. Okay. We're going to go straight to the next segment, I think, Trent. Now, prepare to be blown away with how time flies. can you believe it's actually been 40 years? We're going to get that teleprompter moving in a minute, because I've got my card sitting under here. Sorry about that. It's been 40 years since the premature passing of Elvis Presley. His legacy touched so many throughout the world and led to some dedicating their life to filling the big diamond-studded jumpsuit.
As the 40th anniversary of the King of Rock and Roll's passing approaches, we caught up with Mark Andrew, one of Australia's leading Elvis impersonators, to chat about his amazing career, his recent fundraising performance in Traralgon, and all things Elvis Presley.
So tell us what brought you here to the VRI Hall in Traralgon to start off.
Well, I was invited to come down and do a fundraiser for the community hall. Basically, they're raising some funds for the hall, and you know, I sort of jump at those community things. You know, I do a lot of big shows, but bringing it back down to earth and doing something for the community is great, you know. And you kind of had that old-fashioned feel today, you know, with the chairs and the rows, and you know, and I sort of joke around. I walk amongst the people and crack some jokes and get to meet people personally on a one-on-one, you know, and it's just, yeah, it's just a great thing. So my first experience with Elvis was, my brother was the fan, and he became a fan from our uncle. So our uncle was living with us in Clayton, in Melbourne, and he used to buy the records and everything, and we used to frisbee them, you know, in the garden and everything. And anyway, so we got in trouble for that, but then my brother became the Elvis fan first. And when Elvis died, I can remember that moment, you know, when you heard that Elvis died, but it wasn't until 2 years later that Kurt Russell played Elvis. They made a movie about his life story. And it was just something that really struck with me as a 14-year-old. And he was my hero. He was like the new guy that I looked up to. And I think Elvis had that influence on so many musicians and, you know, actors and all that sort of thing, because, you know, you just had that charisma and that thing that just drew you in. And once you were magnetised to Elvis, that was it. You know, there was no turning back. So I do Dean Martin, I do Buddy, John Lennon, and Jim Morrison from The Doors, and I do a comedy floor show of Austin Powers.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a real versatile thing, and I do Danny Zuko in Greece, and kind of love being versatile, really. You know, I love, and when I play Elvis, you know, I channel the character. I go from it not so much just the entertainment, but also, you know, trying to be authentic and make the audience feel like they are at an Elvis show, you know. Kind of stuff.
I have to ask you about the costumes.
Yes.
Where do you get this stuff made?
Right. Well, there's a company in America now. There's a few, but there's this one particular company that had all the patterns and all the machinery and everything passed down from them. So these are exactly identical to what Elvis had. And these guys were working with Elvis's designers. Gene Dorset, who did all the embroidery, and Bill Belu, who was the one that invented the big collar for Elvis, because Elvis was very conscious about his neck. And that's why he used to put his collar up, because his mum used to call him pin neck when in the 50s, you know, so he always had that insecurity about his neck. So
do you have to, you know, to fit into that sort of stuff, do you have to keep a bit of a training regime? Because you're a pretty fit-looking bloke.
Well, yeah, I'm sort of stage fit, and I get out and do a few boot camps with my fiancée. Obviously, she's, you know, in the industry, and we have a healthy sort of routine at home, you know, eating well, but I kind of do go off the rails sometimes and love my pizza and that sort of thing, but it's all about the balance. You know?
I think that's what Elvis did anyway, wasn't it,
right.
really?
Yeah.
So 40 years this year of his passing, the
Yes.
anniversary, or alleged passing, perhaps we could say,
Wow.
because there are the rumours.
Yes.
Do you think that as the fan base has got bigger or more intense over the last?
It's definitely got bigger, and because a lot of people experience Elvis in different ways at certain times of their life. you know. And even I meet so many young people, they're so young, but they're just obsessed with Elvis already, you know. And they might see a movie or this and that, or a performer like myself, and they, you know, the next show they come, oh, you got me into Elvis, you know.
Well, seeing you've lived and breathed Elvis for so long,
yes,
I have a quiz for you today.
Yes, okay.
We're going to ask you some Elvis questions.
No problem.
And see how well you know the man himself.
Right.
So let me start off with,
yes,
it's a maths question.
Yes.
If Elvis was alive today, how old would he be?
He would have been, he was born in 35, so 82.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, question number 2. It's an easy one. Where was Elvis born?
He was born in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Correct. All right, number 3. How many times did Elvis tour Australia?
None. In the 1960s, Elvis wanted to come out to Australia. Well, this was during the movies. That's right, but the fans were like, oh, bring Elvis to Australia. So the Colonel sent Elvis's Cadillac on a tour to Australia. So,
really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, didn't have that one written down. We'll fill that in later. All right, question 4. Elvis is Norse for what?
He's Norse.
Yeah, as in Norse, what is that, the country or the language? The language, Norse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For wise man?
Very good.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Question number 5. Research shows that Elvis is one of the most popular passwords for computers. What's your computer password?
Oh, it's not Elvis.
Mark, thanks so much for your time today. It's been great to talk to you. Just wanted to wish you all the best for your future as Elvis, and to Lisa as well for what you guys have got planned. Well, I guess he left the building.
Thanks to the King, Mark Andrew, for spending time with us at Live at Spectrum. And good evening to him and Lisa, who we know are watching at home tonight. Trent, you had a few more tidbits on Mark to share as well.
Yeah, just wanted to mention that Mark's dad actually migrated to Morwell back in the day from Malta, and Mark was saying he spent quite a bit of time in Maui with family, playing as a youngster. And I did actually ask Mark on the day if Elvis had a home in Australia, would it be called Grouseland?
Absolutely. I love this audience tonight. They're very receptive to your humour, Trent.
And I just wanted to say we have had a few messages come through. Jan says Mark is the best Austin Powers ever. Dawn O'Connell said it was a terrific afternoon of Elvis in Traralgon, and it really was. There was a heap of people there. They really got into it, and Mark did an amazing job. And Paul Beaumont got back to us about the TV ad. It's called Check Your Mates Road Safe Commercial. So keep an eye out for Paul. He's the guy on the bike that runs over the old man.
Will do. But it's not a true story.
It didn't happen in real life.
Now, the audience are busy putting their earplugs at the minute. We've got a full band about to play for you. Now, with influences including Steve Vais, Joe Satriani and Les Claypool, you know you're up for a real musical treat with our next band. With Gippsland roots and currently based in Sydney, they've come a long way to perform for you tonight. So please give a warm welcome to Three Wise Monkeys.
Thank you very much. We are the Three Wise Monkeys, and please welcome on the drum kit, Mr. Brendan Waterman. This next song we're going to do is going to feature our bass player, Alex King, on the bass. This is a song that Alex wrote. It's called Shamozzle.
Great stuff, man. Brendan, sounding great. Sounding great. Three Wise Monkeys. Hey! Brad, how are you, man?
Good, mate.
I'm going to slip in beside you, if that's all right.
That's all right.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you while you're doing all your pedals and everything. Should start by saying welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a long journey.
Does it still feel like home when you come to
course,
here?
Of course. I've got family here. My dad and my brother and his family are still in the area, so it's great. You know, everyone's back at Churchill. So.
Now, what have we got in common with the two acts tonight? You might say the sound's a lot different, but we had Tracy and Anthony playing in the studio, and that was the student-teacher relationship there. that's gone on to bigger and better things. And here we find you tonight with your guitar teacher in the room as well.
There is a number of people in the room that are very influential to me,
oh,
yes.
right, okay, let's go through them one at a time. Who's first?
Well, can I start with Anthony Rotterham, that's in the front row here. Mr. Rod was my school teacher at Curnow when we started at Curnow College.
Yeah.
And was a big influence through my school years and a great supporter of you know, the arts in the school. I was just thinking before, actually, he he got me to do my first ever performance in front of the school. You know, 300 or 400 kids. I did Johnny Be Good.
Yeah. How old were you at the time?
I was probably 14.
Yeah.
I sung and played it like Chuck Berry, and afterwards another teacher called Mr. McGubbin came up to me, who was Mr. Gubbins, came up to me, who was an opera singer himself, and he said, "Stick to the guitar, kid."
Is this why you're not singing tonight?
Definitely, yes.
And any other people in the audience you should mention?
Of course.
Yeah.
Another great person in my life has been Tony Calabro and his wife Mary, who have been incredible supporters of me. Tony was my guitar teacher for many years while I was in the Valley, and I'm very honoured that he's sitting in the front row here with me tonight. So.
Yeah, we had the story in the last episode with Tony, and you were part of that story as well.
Yes.
We got so much feedback from that story, so many emails, and it touched so many people, not necessarily just students, but also just other people who have been involved with that process before. Can you give me an idea of what it's like being a student of Tony Calabro's?
For me, it was amazing because I was tone deaf and I was rhythmically challenged. So Tony took me, an awkward, a teenager, and really opened up my music world. Before that, my dad had a great record collection, but I was brainwashed on Neil Diamond and Peter Frampton.
Nothing wrong with that?
No. But Tony opened up a world of jazz and a world of classical music to me that, and it just opened my mind to what I could achieve as a musician. So,
what is it about that more intricate style of playing, with the times shifting around and you're all over the fretboard? You're not playing just your 1, 4, and 5 chords.
Oh, well, that would have to do with another person who's in the crowd tonight, Danny Eddy, who's also in the crowd, who. I used to go to a music shop called Barry Hewitt's, and Danny worked there. Not only was he really generous with his time, but he's an amazing guitar player himself. And I spent many years at Danny's house with his brother Lincoln, being inspired by Danny and his creativity. So I'm very honoured that Danny's here tonight because I haven't seen him in a long time. So
let's give them all a clap, ladies and gentlemen. You are winning over this audience, Brad. Very smart thinking. While you're just getting your other guitar, we might just head over to Trent and see what we've been getting online.
We've had some messages come through. One from, is it Tinny Owen? Says, best thing since Robert Trujillo. Is that somebody I should know, a guitarist?
The bass player from Metallica.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a message. Oh, no, sorry. It's Tim Owen, I should say. Tim Owen sent that through. And we've also had a photo sent through, which we'll get up on the screen. And it is from little Bowie watching at home.
Oh, I got on your Bowie. Look at him go.
Danny Eddy's little boy. Danny in the audience tonight.
I can see Danny there too. How did I recognise you there, Danny?
Big fan of Live at Spectrum.
No, I told him.
You kind of look the same from the back. And we've also had a message sent through, a photo come through from Lock Sport. Sounds awesome. Wants to know when he can book in for lessons. That's Peter Calabro.
Good mate, Pete.
Yeah.
Which, there he is.
There he is.
He's watching Lock Sport tonight. So keep your messages coming through via Facebook, our Facebook live feed, or 0411 489
Now, Brad, you find yourself up in Sydney now.
Yes.
What drew you to that area, and can you give us an insight into the Sydney music scene?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I went there for the Sydney Olympics. I didn't compete, but I went there to be get amongst the entertainment business, and I've always had a great love of Sydney. I went there when I was 16. I went and saw a great guitarist called Ike Isaacs and studied with him for a little bit. I got that opportunity through Tony Calabro as well. So I was really drawn to Sydney, and I always wanted to kind of go there. And I was lucky enough to meet my beautiful wife and have our children. And create a wonderful life in Sydney. So the music scene there is fantastic. I had a great run around the Olympics and a few years after, playing in all sorts of bands, and I managed to send bands overseas as well and produce a number of acts. But a few years ago, Alex came in for an audition, and I thought, this guy's way too good to send to China, so you're staying here, and we're going to create this band called the Three Wise Monkeys.
Yes.
That was about 8 years ago, and it's been a long journey, but finally I've got an opportunity to come and play in Latrobe Valley. So
how do you guys create and rehearse these songs when they're so intricate?
It's basically we spend a lot of time jamming, and just really enjoying each other's playing. When we get together, we don't really talk a lot, to tell the truth. We just get in there and start making sounds, and we just really enjoy spending that time together. It's pretty sacred to us, and we from there we've had a lot of great opportunities to play live and at festivals and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a really good journey.
Well, you can hear the hours of dedication you've put into these instruments. All these three guys are amazing players. Look, before we move on, there's just a quick little quiz question I do want to ask you.
Okay.
Now, we wish that we did this every week. This is the first time we've actually done it. Now, our cameraman, Mr. Aidan Boehm, we might get a light on him if we can. I think we might be able to get a camera on him as well. He doesn't know we're doing this, so he'll be panicked right about now, I'd say. We often go out with Aidan and we do stories, and he's like a Benjamin Button. No one really ever knows how old he is. So we're going to get a light on him.
I'm going to shine my phone on him.
You shine a phone on him. Here, come on, step out to the light, Aidan. Can we get a camera on him as well? There he is. It's probably hard to see right now. If you can't see him properly, I've actually got a lovely photo of him here. And in fact, what we've decided, we're going to ask all our guests that come on Live at Spectrum, if you can guess Aidan's age, you will actually get to keep this beautiful framed picture of Aidan. How old do you think Aidan is?
Me first?
Yeah, go for it.
I'd say 35.
35. Is that correct? Papa. No, he's not 35. So that'll be a carry of a champ. We'll go on to next week. No worries. Thanks for playing.
Okay.
Thanks, Aim. We're going to do that every episode from now on. I'll let you introduce your next song.
Yeah, definitely.
Please welcome back Three Wise Monkeys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This next song we're going to do was actually written by our drummer, Brendan Waterman. Not only is he an amazing drummer, but he's incredible on the guitar as well. This song involves some drop tuning, it's alternate tuning. As I said, this song was written by Brendan Waterman. This is called Durka Durka.
Awesome, awesome. Three Wise Monkeys on Live at Spectrum. Brad Kipriotis, Brendan Waterman, Alex. I forgot your last name, Alex. King. Sorry, Alex King. So sorry. I tell you what, you talk about dedication. We are live here in Gippsland tonight, and both Brendan and Alex actually are heading back to Sydney at the end of the show tonight. So how far to Sydney, Alex?
About 10 hours.
10 hours drive after tonight. Here we are complaining about the 40 minutes I've got back to Sale tonight. We've got 10 hours behind us tonight. Three Wise Monkeys are going to be back very shortly, and they'll be taking us out tonight. Now, if you've ever cruised along the Prince's Highway, which I actually thought was the Princess Highway until about my mid-20s, you would have no doubt come across a sign alluding to some kind of time travel with a hint of music involved. Live at Spectrum packed their flux capacitor and went to investigate the Darnum Musical Village.
Established 1951, Darnum Musical Village is home to a collection of over 300 rare, unusual and antique instruments. We visited the village to take a closer look at the famous and undeniably important attraction and spoke with owner Albert Fox about its fascinating history and the incredible musical instruments on display there, as well as the challenges for its future.
Albert, first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself. Did you grow up in the area?
No, actually I grew up in Essendon, North Essendon in particular. Went to the North Essendon State School as a youngster. Finished up at the Essendon Technical School where I was advised to do woodwork and metalwork and so on to prepare me for the piano trade. The making of pianos, repairing pianos and all that sort of thing. So I was schooled in the trades, really, in the skills of the tools. But I was trained in music from the age of 7. Then also it fitted in really well with piano work because of the nature of the pianos. Of course, there's a lot of woodwork in them, a lot of metal work, and yeah, there's thousands of bits in the piano. Yeah. Well, as a child, my mother had a pen friend up in the Seaview area, and we used to come up on holidays, and that's what introduced me to Gippsland, and Warrigal in particular. I fell in love with the area. And so after I'd finished my apprenticeship, I served 6 years under the German people, and then branched out on my own. And because I knew this area and people knew that I was in the piano trade, they asked me to do various jobs, fix church organs and what have you. So I used to come up in my little Bedford utility and service the area and have a lot of fun around the area too. And so it worked out well. So that's introduced me actually to Gippsland. But they really needed somebody who understood not only pianos and organs, but player pianos in particular, church organs and so on. And so I filled that bill. And so the business just grew and grew, and I trained apprentices and they helped me, and we eventually set up quite a number of branches around Victoria, and then the apprentices went out there and serviced the instruments in Melbourne in particular, and other parts in like the Western District and Northern Victoria, and right through Gippsland, right through.
So when the Musical Village first opened, what sort of reaction did you get from the local area?
I think they tolerated me, put it that way.
But was there an interest for people to come and
Well, there was. There was a music lovers club that started off, and they're still going today, actually. They've been going for over 35 years. And they formed from organ classes that we had back in those days. We sold Lowry organs. They sold like hot cakes. I used to go out to all the showgrounds and sell them on a Saturday, you know. I'd be out there early morning, and not only here in Warrigal, but all over Gippsland mainly. And there were people that came to the village for classes, how to play them, how to learn to. And so my wife even helped with that because she was quite a well-trained musician. And she could handle that quite well. So people, you know, bought quite expensive organs back then.
So to power the organ, they have to pump air into it. So what they do is get two little boys out of church to come and pump this to fill the bellows down the bottom, which you can see filling with air there. But now it's just been hooked up to a vacuum to blow air into it.
That pipe over
yeah,
there?
That's right.
Okay.
So it'll just blow air in and they won't need to pump it like this.
The economy has affected tourism a lot, really. And so what's happening now, instead of a bus coming with 40 or so people on it, you'll get a 28-seat bus and they say there's 28 people coming, but on the day 26 come, you know, so we're feeling the pinch as far as the economy is concerned. But the heyday of the actual village itself was when we were selling organs, like hotcakes, for instance, and also pianos to a certain degree. But unfortunately what's happened now is that there's not the students coming on, the young people are playing with telephones and iPads, and I'd be the first one to say what a wonderful thing an iPad is, because you can ask it a question, it'll give you wonderful answers and what have you. And my wife tells me all the time I'm working hard to pay bills, and at my age I sort of getting a bit tired of that. And that's why she wants me to put it on the market. We've actually put a few feelers out for selling the village. But what I'd like to see happen is an individual or a group of individuals buy it and then run it as it is, and also to do wedding receptions. I think there's a good opportunity for that, for sure. But as I say, I'm running out of puff to do that, and it needs some younger people to come on with those ideas to push it ahead. We can't break through that barrier to say people will jump on a bus or what have you to come here. So that's what I'm saying, it's a complete failure.
You say it's a failure, but personally I don't see it as that way. It might be, as you're concerned, like perhaps a commercial failure, but as far as the history goes in this place, it's certainly not a failure. This is a credit to you, and you can see that it's a life's work for you.
Well, I get up some mornings and I think, well, you know, I'm not going to sell the place. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's something that I've created, but you know, I lack the support, I lack the backing, I lack the public support, and so you know, there's not much hope for it in that regard.
Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, Alfred.
It's been a pleasure to meet you.
And thank you so much for your time. We wish you all the best for the future and to your family as well.
Did you say Alfred or Albert?
You said Alfred. Oh, did I say Alfred? Yeah. Did I?
Yeah,
Sorry,
well,
Albert.
It's a funny thing. Funny thing I checked. Funny thing I had to explain to a bank.
I think you called me Brent before.
Yeah, yeah. We're even now. But what actually happened yesterday, I took a check to the bank and it had Alfred on the check.
There you go.
And I said to the girl, and then it looked like they were going to stop the payment. I said, oh, don't stop the payment. I just put it through. So.
Musical Village before, apart from you, Brent.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, Big John has. I'll tell you what, after seeing that story, I will not be driving past that place next time. It's a sign I've always seen. I've thought, wonder what is in there, what's down there? And I've always heard about Albert Fox as well and his pianos.
He's a lovely guy. He's 87 years old. And the village really is, it's just like a museum. It's like stepping back into time. So we really do urge everybody to go and visit and support such a great local establishment.
And he has set it up like a little village as well. Like you're saying, a lot of the buildings there were actually transported from other areas.
Yeah.
There was even a church there.
Yeah, and it's made from recycled wood from other buildings. So he's put his life into that place.
Yeah, beautiful place. So next time you're in that Darnum area in the highway and you see the sign about time travel, just turn off the highway. It's not far off the highway, too.
No, it's like literally just around the bend.
Right there.
Do it.
So we are just about to wrap up Live at Spectrum, but we will be back for our next big episode, who's going to be on, Brent?
We will announce that in the next week or so via our Facebook page, so keep an eye on that. And thank you also for our 7,000 followers on Facebook, which happened last month. So,
yeah, that was a really big thing. Yeah.
Very happy about that. Yeah, you can clap.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was great.
We just wanted to mention a couple more messages that have come through. Anton Fullerton has been listening to Three Wise Monkeys for years now, and a very exciting group of musicians. Said thanks to Live at Spectrum for showing them tonight. Kylie Barnes says we all look nice. Thank you, Kylie. Joddy Jod says go Kaipo, awesome mate. We've had a photo come through of a dog.
Oh wow, look at that, that's nice.
I think we haven't had any name attached to that, but I reckon that might be Lauren and Michael Saul's dog.
Oh, okay.
I'm just hazarding a guess there.
Can you confirm that, Johnny Werner? You play music?
Looks familiar, that dog.
Yeah, okay. And there was one more message
They all do.
I just wanted to mention. Cheryl Hampton sent this through, said that Mark Andrew, champion guy, spontaneously renewed my mum and dad's vows Elvis style last night at Frankston RSL for their 50th wedding anniversary. It was amazing. So incredibly grateful for Mark's generosity. Mark, he's a top bloke.
It's like the chapel o' love.
Yeah,
right.
So thank you for all your messages tonight.
Okay, so to take out the show for the final time tonight, please welcome back Three Wise Monkeys. amazing musicianship. They've come all the way from Sydney to do this tonight, and they've got to drive home after this as well. How lucky are we?
Thanks to TRFM for simulcasting the show tonight. Don't forget you can watch this show on demand Thursday night 7:30 via our YouTube channel. We'll also be on Thursday night 9:30 on Foxtel. And our next episode is Father's Day. Sunday, September 3 at 7:30 p.m. Also, just a quick mention to Rod and Rhonda Owen, who sent a message through tonight saying they're playing at the Darnum Music Lovers on Tuesday. Check them out. That's it.
And keep that applause going for our guests tonight, Tracy, Killeen and Anthony Rickard. Thanks to Albert Fox, also Mark Andrew, and to Harry Hookey for the stories tonight. And thank you to John Weiner for the quiz. We'll see you next time on Live at Spectrum. Good night. You really? Yeah, really. Let's leave now. Okay, let's
Live at Spectrum is filmed in front of a live studio audience.